Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Knott. Today I'm going to show you how to place any fraction on a number line with endpoints 0 and 1. So to get started, we're going to take a look at this visual here. This is a whole circle that's partitioned or divided into 4 equal parts. To write the fraction that matches this picture, I would write, I want you all to whisper it, 1/4 or 1/4. This number on top of my fraction bar represents the number of pieces shaded, and the number below the fraction bar represents the number of total parts. So you'll see that there's 4 total parts. So the fraction that represents the shaded parts is 1/4. Now I'm going to show you how to plot that on a number line. So here's my number line here. I always need to have endpoints on my number line, and my endpoints are going to be 0 and 1 because I know 1/4 is less than a whole because I know 4/4 are in a whole. Now, when I partition my number line, I always like to draw a bar above the number line. This is just something I like to do. It helps me visually see how many parts I'm dividing my line into. So if I want to plot 1/4 on this number line, how many total parts do I have to divide my bar or my line into? Which number here represents the total number of parts? If you said 4, you're correct because it's fourths. There's 4 equal parts. So to do that, this is my hint. I like to divide it in half and then divide my halves in half again. So I've made 3 dividing lines, which gives me 4 equal parts. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal parts. Now, before I plot 1/4, I'm just going to label my partitions. So this is 0/4. You can count with me. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4. I'm going to rename my whole as 4/4. Then to plot 1/4 on my number line, I see it right here. Okay, I put a dot, my best dot, on the number line there. So there is 1/4 on a number line. Let's try another one. Okay, so let's look at my visual here. I have one whole divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total parts, which I know the total number of parts that my whole is partitioned into. That number goes below the fraction bar. Okay, now I want to write the fraction that represents the number of parts that are shaded. So I just noted that one part is shaded. So the fraction shaded is 1/6. Now I'm going to plot that on my number line. So again, I know 1/6 is less than 1 whole because there are 6 sixths in a whole. So I know that my endpoints are going to be 0 and 1. Now I'm going to use my strategy that I used before, and I'm going to draw my bar. And this just helps me visually see the number line a little bit better and the parts that I'm partitioning my whole into. So how many total parts do I need to divide this bar into? If you said 6, you're correct because there's 6 equal parts here. So to do 6, I'm trying to remember. Okay, I like to do half. And then I know if you split 6 in half, it's 3 and 3. So I'm going to divide this half into thirds as best I can, and this half into thirds as well. Okay, so I should have 5 dividing lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 equal parts. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay, so let's start to label my parts. 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, and 6, 6. Now, if I ended up with something other than 6, 6 here, I would know that I did something wrong. I counted wrong, or I partitioned too many parts because I know 6, 6 are in one whole. Okay, where's 1, 6? Right here. I'm going to plot that point right there on the number line. 1, 6. All right, awesome job. Let's take a look at this one. Here's my whole. I notice that it is partitioned into 3 equal parts and 2 parts are shaded. So what fraction would represent the number of shaded parts? Well, above my fraction bar, I put the number of parts shaded, so that's 2. Below my fraction bar, I put the total number of parts, 1, 2, 3, 2/3. Okay, now again, I know that 2/3 is less than 1 because 3/3 equals 1, so I'm going to label the endpoints on my number line to 0 and 1. To plot 2/3, I am going to use my bar to help me visually partition the bar and the line into thirds. And I'm going to do my best to partition this into 3 equal parts. I have 2 dividing lines, and let's check, do I have 3 equal parts? 1, 2, 3. I can also see that in my bar. Let's rename the points on my number line. So this is 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. Okay, where would 2/3 be? Right here. I'm going to put a dot right where the partition meets my number line. Okay. All right, let's take a look at these 2 number lines. This says each letter marks a spot on the number line. Identify the fraction that each letter marks. Okay, so now the number line is already made for me, and I have to identify what fraction this letter represents. So again, I'm going to use that bar to help me out here. So I'm going to draw a bar above this number line, and I see that this hole is partitioned into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So I know that my fraction is fourths. Okay, so let me rename these points: 0/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. Okay, where is A? It's at 3/4. So A represents 3/4. Okay, let's take a look at this one. What fraction does the letter C represent? Again, I'm going to draw my bar. This helps me visually see how many equal parts it's divided into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts. So I know that my fraction, the denominator in my fraction is 6, or I'm dealing with sixths here. So this would be 0/6, 1/6, 2/6. Do I have to keep counting since I know C is 2/6? Maybe let me just count it in my head to make sure this would be 6/6. 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 6, 6. Yep. So C represents 2/6. Let's try one more before you get to try some on your own. Okay, let's see. I'm going to use my bar to help me here. So my bar represents one whole because this number line goes from 0 to 1. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts. So this is fifths. This would be 0/5, 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. X is at 3/5. 4/5, 5/5. Yep, that's correct. Okay, let's look at this last one here. I can already see up 3 equal parts, so this must be thirds. So this is 0/3, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. So G is at 2/3. All right, I hope this little lesson teaches you how to plot and name fractions on a number line. Go ahead and try the activity or the questions that we've posted for you this week, and we look forward to checking your work.